Of taking it to Sunoco, and that was the one part about that gave me a headache, was uncompacted. You're just hauling so much air. You know, it's almost an empty truck, other than, that's just, you can't justify the labor and all the bailing and the...
So you still have some options.
I think our option is either Hill Trash Service contracting it to Stutzman, or the city and the county working with employees that drive our product to Stutzman. The only other option is what we take to the landfill and not. So I think we're down to narrow down. I bet by the end of the week we'll know what we're going to suggest.
So you're going to quit taking clothes?
I talked to the thrift store. They're doing their spring conversion right now, and I said, get it up there as soon as you can, because as soon as we quit taking clothes, they'll have to find another outlet. But we still are taking them now. I would suggest to there's 7 balers sitting idle over at Colby. I'd really suggest Will and Sunoco will come up and take them back, the ones that aren't in use. But I would think we ought to take one for Bird City and one for St. Francis, even if we don't hook it up, and have it as our spare tire.
And that's available as long as we take our cardboard products, or
Yeah.
allow them to come pick it up. It is a little bit of a cut rate from Centennial, but there's some questions about how they work anyway. The connection to these balers is, I guess, as much of a reason to do that as not, and I would absolutely agree we'd want a spare baler.
And the balers, the value of those balers would have, say we do 100 tons, they discount us $30 a ton, what they pay us. And we get the balance, what say cardboard's worth $60 a ton, we get paid for $30 a ton. They take $30 for the use of the baler, which would be about $3,000 a year. A baler is probably $10,000 if you bought new or found you one and did. So Willie's got 2 over there. We own 1 here. That'd be 3 balers in Cheyenne County. It'd be about $30,000. So it'd take about 10 years to pay that.
Well, that's not good news that they changed their mind on us.
Huh?
That wasn't good news that they changed their mind on us. I thought that was going to be the way to go.
I know it. We talked about it Thursday. We thought a deal, but talking to him, I said, I want a contract to take to the commissioners today. And he said, I can't do it. He said, I'm just at a roadblock on this hauling boxes of plastic, glass, whatever. See, the way he's taking it now over there is bale from Colby. But they won't even unload it. And the other thing, we have expensive, the boxes. They're kind of expensive. And there's a good chance what we send down there that we might not get back, or get back in very good shape. We've got an answer. It's just we don't have much of a choice. But I am convinced in the long run it's going to save Cheyenne County money. And you guys pay more than any other county. You're close to $50,000 a year. What you invest in recycling.
Between the cities and the county.
Yeah.
Huh?
Between the cities and the county.
No, that's not even counting the city. I'm talking
Just
to you
us?
guys.
Yeah.
Because you got the dues at 17, and you got hauling fees at 11,000, and then you give 21,000 to for supplement wages. And it doesn't amount to a lot, but you give $10 a ton for what we recycle, so that's about $2,000 a year. We've got the building under contract over there. We own one building. And we have it on, signed a listing on it Thursday. And we've got it listed for $250,000. Seemed to be what the realtor suggested to us. It's more than what I thought. But it is a steel building and a very good location. But then we've got the tractor trailer rig, flatbed. We've got a Duramax pickup, a big trailer, a couple of forklifts, loading dock. So it might take a while to get it liquidated, but
I heard you had a pretty good sized gas bill over there.
yeah. Did you guys hear too? Did the court?
Well, it went up.
Yeah, we received two bills. First one was 1,800, and then they sent a corrected one for 1,000. So, what's
no,
going on?
this is one of those transport one-time deals that people are getting. About $7,000. I know some farmers that have been getting them. Wes explained to me that they had to buy gas off the wellhead, and I think the price of coke grew up.
I heard though they were going to spread that over 3 years. But if you sell your property, then you have to pay it before you can close. That's the last I heard.
Well, looks like we'd probably be paying.
Yeah.
All at once. But I'll tell you what, if we can get $250,000 for that building, I have no problem paying a $7,000 gas.
Well, thank you for all your work.
Well,
Everybody.
I'll try to get it on the agenda again in 2 weeks if I can. Maybe by then I'll have talked to Waste Connections and have something a little more solid, what they charge to dump down there, because they do charge you to dump, and so much a ton, and then there's a dumping fee. Now Rollins County, they're convinced they're going to buy their own. They're looking for a van trailer. I don't know what good that will do unless you put a walking floor in it or something. And I don't know how you get all that loose stuff to walk to the front of the...
Where's the benefit in it if they're going to be going the same place?
Well, since we have equipment, that ain't a bad idea using it. But I don't know how, in the long run, it's going to be smart to have equipment, run equipment.
But they're talking about doing that with the assumption Sunoco is still going to receive their materials, right? Or are they aware that Sunoco's
Yeah,
not?
I talked to them.
Oh, so they are aware
Yeah.
of that? Okay.
Did you ever see one of those walking floors work?
No?
They're unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen them
I mean,
unload.
they'll walk anything.
really.
They'll walk out wheat, corn,
You know, I
wood pallets. They just walk them to the back.
the guy in Atwood's been online trying to find a van trailer, and he's having a hard time finding it. So, we're going to have to try it and just try to fine tune it as we go, I think. Cheyenne County's in better shape with you guys' budget than like Rollins County is. And certainly Decatur County, they're going to landfill all theirs except the cardboard.
Thank you very much.
That's all I got.
Thanks.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
Yeah, I got you.
Will you put me on the agenda in 2 weeks? Or do I need to-
Go in there, you
Oh,
can
oh,
sign
oh,
up.
sign up.
Yeah, it's in there.
Well, DJ, what's going on?
Good morning, you ready for me? Yes, sir. Today I just brought you a progress report. Let's start with noxious weed. There are still changes to the noxious weed law still being taken effect. It has to still be published in the press, and then I will get a official copy. Once that's all done and it's instated, it should still happen by March 31st of this year. A lot of these do not affect us too bad. They're just changing what weeds are on the list and how it's tiered. We will now have a tiered weed species list. This is an unofficial copy. But it's going to designate, like Class A weeds will be hoary cress, leafy spurge, quackgrass, Russian knapweed, kudzu, weeds that we don't have in our county. Okay. That's why the tier goes from A to C, but the C level and V level are more prioritized to what we need to do, and it moves on down for the Canada thistle, musk thistle, bindweed, Johnson grass, leafy Cerisa lespedeza, but we no longer have county weed options. The bull thistle and multiflora rose are been taken off the list. I can still treat them as an invasive species, but not as noxious weed for cost share.
So the one weed you said we don't have?
Yes. We do not have kudzu, leafy spurge, hoary cress, Cerisa lespedeza in our county. We are not wet enough. Our drier climate out here
Oh, it has to do with the climate.
Yes. We don't quite have the moisture they need for that. Southeast Kansas, middle Kansas has a lot of it, but we do not out here in the northwest corner.
I thought them weeds didn't need no water at all.
So some species need more than 20 inches of rain a year. We don't have that.
Sorry, DJ.
No, I'm just going over that. I mean, other things, nothing's changed. Regulatory statutes are still the same as they were. They did revise a few wording to make it easier for me to do my job, especially with the sending of paperwork or trying to receive payment for unpaid bills. They made it so I can send it certified mail. I don't actually have to go through the attorney's office. It's still recommended. But if I cannot contact the landowner or cannot find any way to get a hold of them, I am now allowed to post the paperwork on their property on a sign or fence post, and that is now legal. But that is all I have for the noxious weed law, unless you have questions. Nathan has just completed his noxious weed basic training. So I'm glad to have that over and done. He's been gone a week, but he did complete that. I have been asked by senior directors in our weed district that Cheyenne County, I myself, take more of part with the weed district. They would really like to see me at more meetings and go through their chairs of executive board. I told them I would have to speak with you about doing so because I am quite busy here in Cheyenne County, and this would take me away to a lot of meetings. It'll be a lot of travel sometimes. Any thoughts on how you're feeling about that?
And who pays for you to go to all them meetings in your travel?
Us, Cheyenne County.
They don't pay for
No.
that?
Personally, I think you've got a lot on your plate.
No, I agree. I just,
Trying to be on that water board and
yeah. No, with the CWDAK, that is our weed directors council. And it does, I understand why it's there. It helps for all of us to continue to work together on these weed laws. Problems every one in the county may or may not have. And yes, a lot of the directors are older. They're well in their 50s or higher, 30 plus years of service. And they would like younger directors like myself to step up to continue the program. I may reapproach it at a different time, talk to you guys, but right now with the expenses the way it is and our budgets and trying to be on point with that, I would like to not do that at this time. Prairie dog season. We've come to an end on that. Well, not quite. It ends tonight at midnight. I can't sell bait after that. We've had a pretty good season though. I have applicated 5,600 pounds of bait this year. We bought 7,000 pounds altogether. That includes from October to now. With them expenses, that has only left $3,703.77 in the account to date. I am also going to be having to look at replacing one of the four-wheelers, the 2015 Honda. I got 9,000 miles on it and 12,000 hours. She's getting a little worn out. I could look into repairing it or possibly replacing it completely sometime before October or next year. I still need to get with the auditors to see what can come out of the noxious weed special for equipment, because I have to wait to see what we have and where we are. I want to see your thoughts on replacing that with a UTV that both the Prairie Dog Department and Noxious Weed Department could utilize.
That's both the same thing, isn't it?
Well, yes.
But you can sit down in the UTV, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can ride in that. Right now,
Not on it.
they are separate because the Prairie Dog Department is just a cash account. That is all it is. We still do an expense budget out of it, an expenditure budget, but it's just a cash account. It's there to take in revenue from the sale of bait and labor to come back, and it should work to where I'd be able to use some money out of there to help equipment back and forth, but I have not been able to generate enough to pay for bait, because the 5 pallets of bait, we spent $15,460.
And those are the monies that you get from charging a farmer or
Yes.
rancher or whatever.
Yes. In years past, yes, the Prairie Dog Department has gone to a negative, which then it was reimbursed and filled in with money from the general funds. But I've been pretty fortunate to keep things going forward to increase that and not have to get to where you take money out of general funds to cover expenses. The only thing I'm doing now for the weed department is I'm still trying to obtain bids for the year's chemicals. I know that the glyphosates and the 2,4-Ds, it's going to become pretty volatile on the price, and also availability if we have chemical in the second half of this year. They're saying due to trade with China and other things that it's holding it up and driving price, and so I'm going to look at getting the county's chemical all up front in one bid this year.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't have anything else. Leslie?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You did a good job.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I will send you a gentleman's phone number that they sell their old four-wheelers. Maybe it might be worth checking into.
I appreciate that. I know, Brett, we tried to replace with new because, I mean, where I go, and it does, we do put a large strain on the equipment.
Okay. Okay.
But no, used is not out of the question.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
Okay, well, thank you.
DJ.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of the week.
You too.
I'm gonna grab a little bit more coffee.
You guys want to take a break for a few minutes and then take this on?
Dave had some stuff come up after the agenda was made. So.
Pardon?
Dave had some stuff come up after the agenda was made, so he's coming in.
Okay.
I'll visit with you about that.
We got busy this morning, so that's not done yet.
Okay, okay.
Does it make sense that 501c3, I mean, the way I understand it, from the motorcycle museum.
I've got a lot of questions,
Okay.
because I deal in this a lot. So,
All right.
I wanna
Might
ask
be
around.
overlapping.
I just wanna ask around and get some more info
Okay.
from the last time that I asked around.
This is a bridge contract with Reese Construction.
Talk to you later, sorry.
Okay. Sorry, Dave.
That's all right. I don't know if you've seen those. Probably have.
I love fences.
Something else I found interesting, look at your dates in the road.
What's that? Oh, good lord. Oh, that's when it was changed?
Yeah, this is, you can show where it is now, and where we have it. It's kind of weird. And then, as I know, but originally, you can see where they went to there and to there. And then they also had it open to this person's place.
You already approved it, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well, regardless, here and here, these are, we know.
Or what?
I said, we know that this and this are different. Right?
No. I think
No.
into the thousands.
See, I think it's a
1260,
section.
I really don't care.
It's a section, yeah, it would be the section, correct.
Whatever you
That's all we
think,
show.
you're the middleman.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, anything to do with access, you know, even to this, even though it's not, you still have a say. Yeah. Okay?
Okay, I'll try to explain this just a little bit on the other side here. Okay, here's the deal. The landowner is wanting to put this into, put in a cattle guard right here, and he's also wanting to do it right here, and he's going to put a fence into here, and then also a fence line on this side of the road. I question if that isn't infringing on that property, but without a survey or whatever, I don't know how you deal with that one. We can't require it, I don't think.
He has to coordinate with the other landowner
Okay.
in regards to that fence line.
I was hoping it'd be up here and be a better place for a cattle guard, because they have to get the entrance into here. But when I looked up the records, this is open right here, all the section lines. This has never been open through here.
It's not an open road.
Well, it is by statute that we've always been maintaining it. And so then I even went back in like the 1940s, and they'd actually then had went straight over to here and then up, and then also had one down, there's no vacant place, and then they'd come down here with the road. But nevertheless, he's wanting to put fence in, cattle guards. I think we need to say that the responsibility of installing and purchasing I'm gonna call it a trough. And then the trough and, the cattle guard itself should be a 20-foot minimum. And then I would like to see a barbed wire gate beside it, maybe even larger than that, at every one of the entrances. And the maintenance from this point on is a question, who's supposed to maintain it? If we damaged it, I could see we would have to maintain it, but after that, see, there's no policy or anything on all of them that we have in place.
But in
all
regards
the
to
current
that,
ones.
but that article that you sent me indicated that whomever installs it maintains it, right?
I prefer to see it that way, yes. That relieves the liability on the county.
Because you have to clean out that trough and, I mean, you've got
They came through
to
and
wash it
straightened that out with
Yeah.
and take care of it. And like what Dave's insinuating
So I wasn't
is,
sure.
cattle guard is a cattle guard. You can't change it. So if someone's moving cattle or they've got some sort of
This guy,
implement that's
I think
wider
this is coming out of
than 20
CRP.
feet, needing to get through there because it's a road, that's why he's wanting that gate on the other
This is
side.
in pasture.
Don't they all
He
have
wants
them?
to hook 'em together.
All the ones cattle guards,
Almost all of them do, yes.
Yeah,
because the ones I've seen seem like they all have a gate.
right.
But currently, we don't have any policy on it, so we have to pass a
So you want
resolution
to
or
put it on
something.
to
to-
make sure it comes on there, huh?
So is he just wanting to be able to pasture both sides?
Yes, yes. Currently, he has pasture right here to there. So this is coming out of CRP, and this way, yeah, he can utilize that over there.
And this grass is kind of waste grass right now.
Yes,
It wasn't even CRP or anything.
doesn't look like it. Or very little of it, anyway, so.
So somebody probably comes through here to farm then.
Not that we know of
Not
at
that we
this
know
time, so.
But that's the concern. I mean, once you do something like that, then that's when all of a sudden it's like, oops, such and such needs to get through.
Or somebody comes from the south and turns a mile too far and goes up there and can't turn around or something, then you kind of have a way to get through there, so. And things are changing. I mean, they're drilling an oil well or gas well, something right here, so.
So you want to put it right here, not up here?
I would prefer it there if he had the fence on the north side of the road. If it's on the south side of the road, maybe, we'd have to have a jog and then a cattle guard, I think, so.
And he owns both properties? The one?
No, not on
No.
the south.
That's the issue. It's like he's talking about this fence on the south side, but I don't know who's been in contact with that landowner to talk about it.
Don't think there's been any contact as far as that goes, and then,
Where's this at?
Well, if it goes on his property, whoever owned the property have to take care of the fence?
yes, but I'm questioning I question if the Orlando Township didn't do that. See, this section here is all open, is what they're saying. So this is an open mile here, and then when you get up here, you do this jog. Well, they're not quite here, because it's right on the half-mile long line. So then they're going here and then working their way up. Am I on the right road for sure? Yeah.
I'm not sure that the guy'd want a fence on his property.
Bless you.
Waste here.
Well, Willie, here's the
The
thing.
waste is actually on
We've got a right of way for a road. Now, as to if there will or will not be a
And this
fence
is
on
what he
that,
has in place.
on the right of way for cattle, that's up to the landowner. That's not the county's responsibility. And, so all of this talk about this fence line being on the south side of the road, that's between the person making this request and that landowner. And we can't answer anything in regards to yay, nay, whatever
Yeah.
regarding that fence line because that's between the property owners. And I don't know why they're thinking they can build a fence on someone else's property.
That's what I was thinking, because
But we don't have all those answers. I
Yeah.
don't know that those specific questions have been asked.
maybe he got permission, because it seemed to me that If I own the land, and I let them put a fence on there, I'm responsible for the fence.
Landowners are responsible for their own fences.
That's what I say,
Yeah.
but, so if they,
But here's the thing, Willie, we can't talk about any of that because we don't know what conversations have or have not been had.
okay.
So what are you wanting from us?
Well, that's kind of what I was wondering.
Commissioners have to approve a cattle guard. If there's going to be a cattle guard put across the public road, it has to be approved by the commissioners with the specifics in regards to the size of the cattle guard and who is going to maintain it.
Feel a lot better if we knew that the other guy that owns land in there agrees to it. I mean,
And that can go back on the person making the request. I think that is a reasonable question, is to ask them, okay, have you been in contact with such and such? Because you were talking about this fence line and we have nothing from that landowner that, one,
Wouldn't you
they
want-
even agree to an autograde, and two, that you've talked to them about the fence line.
wouldn't you want it in writing as far as we're concerned for the county? I mean, it's not really gonna fall on us, but I'm just legally or not.
Dave can have a conversation with them. I mean, nothing's,
Okay.
So does the other guy know about these cattle guards?
I don't think this individual here it's a trust, so. And the guy, I think Ned Smith's overseeing it, be my guess, so.
I'd feel a lot better if you talked to all the adjoining landowners, is my thought.
Okay.
What about you, Roger?
I have visited with Sowers a little bit on that, because he's gonna actually probably be using our fence. The other one I haven't contacted. I did visit with Waters, he rents this quarter, and they own that one, and they didn't see a problem, so. It's just this tract right here that concerned me.
Yeah, I think if we had to wait until he gets, at least the guy knows, he might protest it, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I don't have, put the cattle guard here and over here.
Yeah, normally we would put it here, but I could also see he's got a fence here and it'd be up on top of the hill. I think it'd last longer if it was up here. So I don't have a problem with that
This
one.
is the fence line,
Yes, the current fence line.
because he's gotta keep that fence on his side of that road. If this is an open road.
I think so. Yeah.
Can't build a fence on somebody else's land.
It's been done. It's not fun moving it twice. You almost have to have a lawsuit in order for the individual that's not participating.
I shouldn't talk names, but the Doffets did that down there on Mike Rogers, and they had to move the fence after it was built.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that
we
cost
got
them a lot of
involved.
money.
Yeah.
yeah. But to try and get a few more acres to graze just because you're putting the fence on the other side of the road,
And then people redo that because they think it's right and not have to pay for a survey. So at this time, we're kind of agreeing with the cattle guard, but we need to have some more specifics as far as the consent from other landowners, and then we ought to draft a resolution for the next meeting. Is that what you're thinking?
I didn't think it took a resolution. I thought it was just a vote.
Oh,
I'll have to
okay.
look into it.
Okay.
I'll double check that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I sure hate to say
You're gonna
we
set
could
a
do
county
that and then,
Policy on them. I
Yeah.
don't think you'd need a resolution.
I hate to do it and then the guy comes in next door all upset.
Well, I mean, I can kind of understand because a cattle guard's not going to do you any good if the fence is on the north side of the road.
Yeah, we can get through a 20-foot easy with the motor graders.
We fight them down south,
Because
on
you're gonna
that.
have to blade up to that.
Correct. They're the pits, I know that,
They're the
because
pits.
your grader's sitting on an angle
On
and
an
you're coming
angle,
up
but-
on there. And,
You
yeah.
almost have to take a loader out and straighten things up once in a while, don't you?
Yeah, it seems like it. Of course, you can square your blade as you're coming up to it, but it's still,
Yeah, that's,
just the traffic, will work itself away from, just like a bridge, work it away from the cattle guard, so,
It's not as easy thing to take care of.
correct. I'm just happy that this is on the flat area, because we'll fight them on the hills, because all the hard rain, the silt washes into them, stuff like that. That's where we have trouble with it, so. Okay, I'll get a little more information for the next meeting, if that's all right.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
I'm gonna need a couple of executive sessions if I can, for non-elected personnel. 10 minutes
For
for the
how-
first one.
Motion for 10 minutes of executive session.
I so moved.
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Motion carries.